You know, one of the things I was advised was to come up, not just out of nowhere, but tell my story, tell my origin story. And so here I want to share with you my origin story real quickly. I don't know, maybe recently you've seen the movie A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. It talks about Fred Rogers. And one of the questions he asked people is, so who are those people in your life that loved you into being? And so when I think about my origin story, I think about critical individuals in my family who loved me up, who showed me the way and values. And so I start with John Henderson Carruthers, former slave who was born to a slave owner, white slave owner, and was the first one in his community to learn how to read. And he was also the minister for that community in a small town called Pelham, Texas. That education, that legacy to make me the fifth generation educator in my community is one of those heroes in my family that he loved me up into being without even knowing who I was. Then there's also Adam Prince, who was a slave, who was a former slave, who walked all the way, as far as I know, from South Carolina to Louisiana. And while coming to Louisiana, I had a son named Ernest Prince. And one of the things I learned from him is the endurance, sacrifice, hard work. Because from Adam Prince, and this may sound like cliche, but he was the first prince who led to the legacy of my family. And then there's also Frances Prince, who is my grandmother, who's about to turn 100 years old. And her mother, Betty Momo Chapman, lived until she was 113. And these individuals, these people who showed me, who started their own church in their community, who brought their family from Louisiana to Houston and showed me the way. When I saw my great grandmother, Betty Momo Chapman, she said, "Baby, you're growing like a sapling tree." And there I always felt at home. She would give me tea cakes, and she would show me what love looked like unconditionally. And my grandmother, who we call Nano, she really showed me what love looked like, enduring over time, and faith, having faith, seeing those things that are unseen. That's what she showed me. So that's what she showed me what love looked like. And then when I think about more than anyone else, I think about my mother, Sandra K. Hall. She loves me into being in ways that I really can't imagine. And to be honest, I wasn't able to really understand what it was to be a parent until I had my own kids. And she showed me the way. She showed me patience. She showed me faith by taking me to church. She showed me things that I still think about to this day. Those individuals loved me into being, and to be honest, without them, I'm not sure what my origin story would look like. But I can tell you those values of endurance, of hard work, the value of education, the role of women and men in my life. I just don't know what my life will look like without them. And so that's part of my origin story. And I would invite you to share your origin story. What values did you live up to, and who loved you into being, as Mr. Rogers asked us so poignantly. Have a great day.